Hello everyone, and welcome back to Magic. Let's go to the main menu, I guess. And as always, let's start off with our typical spiel. Let's see what we get. Okay, draw 2 cards. If you control no artifacts, discard a card. Okay. This one's new. Scry 2, then draw 2 cards. You lose 2 life. Okay. Enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 colorless top or artifact creature token with flying onto the battlefield. Simple enough. Sacrifice another creature, deals 1 damage to target creature or player. Enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets +3/+2 and has trample. It's nice. And then this guy has +1/+1 as long as he's... Oh no, okay. Prowess, so he gets +1/+1 whenever I play a spell. And when he enters the battlefield, exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may play that card. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so last time we finished the stories. They have all been completed. Gideon, Jace, Liliana, Chandra, and Nissa. All of them are done. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to go down to my decks, and I've got a few archetype decks and custom decks that were just for grinding challenges so that I could get booster packs for every episode. But for today, we're going to create a new one. And I'm going to show you both the deck builder and the deck wizard. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use... Oh, whoops. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. We're going to use the deck wizard. That's the most basic one. So here you get to pick any 2-colored deck. Let's go check and see which ones I don't have. I don't believe I have a blue-red. Maybe I do. But it's an old one, so let's remake it. There we go. So create new deck, and we're going to go deck wizard, and we're going to go blue-red. The goal of which is artifacts or cards. So the goal is artifacts. So let's go for it. Artifacts matter. Go for maximum value with cards that benefit from having artifacts on the battlefield. So you benefit, you benefit. That might be good late game. You put Tofters onto the battlefield and you're a decent wall. Let's use this guy. You get flying as long as there's an artifact. You're pretty awesome. And then you just generate artifacts for me. So that's awesome. So now we need artifacts. Now, the artifacts I like the most are the ones that send people pariahing. You're okay. I don't like this guy too much because you have to keep returning an artifact to your hand every turn, and he's pricey just to keep up. I mean, he's pretty cheap. He's 3 mana. Yeah, why not? I'm definitely going to take the bottle gnomes. I'm going to take 2 of those. I'm going to take another bottle gnome. The bonded construct is kind of nice, but I think I'm going to take another one of these guys and another one of these guys. Alright, now we have to fill our deck with stuff. I'm definitely going to take Chandra. I'm going to take at least one Harbinger of the Tides. I'm also going to take Exquisite Firecraft. I'm going to take that twice. Let's see, what else do we want? I guess I can get this guy. I really only want one of you. What happens if I use you guys up? What else do I get? Pick one of you. I'll take another one of these guys. Send that back. It's gonna come up after Juggernauts. Put you away. I'm gonna take another one of them. I'm gonna put you away. I guess I'll take another one of them. Honestly, I was not very fond of the cards that came up this time around. I would have liked a lot of cheaper red cards. Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Okay, well that's the disadvantage to the deck wizard, is it basically builds your deck for you. So let's see, we're a red-blue deck. Yeah, let's take this place. And there you go. So that's the deck wizard. Personally, not very fond of it. It's a little limiting, but it is a good way to get a general feel for how you want to do stuff. So now let's do the deck builder. So, a good way to control what kind of deck you want is to go like this. Now with the deck builder, you can create monocolor decks, unlike the deck wizard, which has to be 2 colors. So a good way to filter out what you want: creatures, artifacts, instants, sorceries, lands, mana cost, rarity, etc., etc. So let's try something interesting. Let's build a blue-white deck. Blue, white, and monocolor. So let's take Kithion, and we're also going to have access to Jace. So let's take 2 planeswalkers. Simple, easy as that. Now, he needs to attack with 2 other creatures, so we need at least, 2 other creatures. Easy enough. He draws a card and then discard a card, and upon doing that, if there are 5 or more cards in my graveyard, we get to convert him into a planeswalker. So, the ability to put cards into a graveyard would be fantastic. However, we don't want to put too many of our cards into our graveyard because, well, yeah. One card I definitely do want with a blue deck, regardless of what the other color is the Sphinx's Library, because that card is fantastic. Now there are other cards I'm very fond of, like the Jorubal Merc Lurker. However, in a blue-white deck, not very effective, because he relies on having a swamp in my deck, which is a black mana card. Not the greatest in that regard. Other good things to have are bicolor creatures. So, let's see. We've got blue-white, so this would work for our deck. White-black, red-white, green-white, blue-black, and green-blue. Always good. But for now, let's focus on what we can do. Now we can use this guy, and he gives a buff to our other flying creatures. He gives them a +1/+1. So if we go with him, it would be good to maybe do a flying deck, which isn't too bad of an idea when you're going with a blue color. So a good place to go if you want flying is you probably want to go with some early white flyers. There you go. A really good card to have is this guy. He'll help you even the land playing field. When he enters the battlefield, and if an opponent controls more lands than you, you may search your library for a plains card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. So he's really good. Like, say your opponent has 3 land, and then it switches to your turn. Before playing a land at the start of your phase, if you have 2 lands that are both white, you put him down, he pulls another land onto the battlefield, and then you can play a land from your hand. So you just put another 2 land onto the battlefield in the turn that you played him. So other good flyers to have, I personally very much like this guy. He has double strike, so he does a first strike and then another strike. The problem with him is that he's only 1/1, so he's good for taking out early creatures that have like 1 health, but afterwards not so good unless you can get him a good buff. With a good buff, it applies to both of his strikes. So his first strike, let's say I get him up to 3, will do 3 damage, and then he follows up with another 3, making his total 6. So definitely a good place to start. This guy makes a good early game wall. He's a 1/3 renown with flying, so I'm going to take him as well. Griffins are definitely a good place to go. Now we could take this card, which is pretty amazing. Whenever I cast an enchantment spell, put a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying onto the battlefield. So we can take that, and then we also have to build enchantments. Now, like I said, this guy, not so great on his own, so a good way to circumvent that is to give him an enchantment. So we could take like Knightly Valor. When Knightly Valor enters the battlefield, put a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance onto the battlefield. Plus, the creature you're enchanting gets +2/+2 and has vigilance. So that would bring him up to a 3/3 with vigilance. And it would give us a token. So I'm gonna go with that for sure. These are also good. They prevent your opponent from attacking or defending. Very similar to the Dehydrate card in the blue deck. Except that the creature doesn't have to be tapped. Sorry, it's not very similar. It achieves a similar goal. This prevents the target creature from attacking or defending. This keeps a creature tapped indefinitely. Which essentially does the same general concept, except that there are cards that can forcibly tap or untap creatures. So even if it's tapped by dehydration, I believe, yeah, it only doesn't untap during their untap step. So a card that forcibly untaps a creature could untap this guy, and then he would be good to go until tapped again. Okay, so enchantments and flyers is basically what we're going for today. Now, as much as I love counterspells, and I love counterspells, I'm the worst type of player. I'm a blue deck player. We definitely want to go for other things. So I could put this Tofter Spy Network enchantment into our deck, but then I would need Tofter artifacts. So I could put 2 of her into my deck, and then we would be good. Now, We should probably get a few more enchantments and a few more flyers. So, a good flyer to have. I like wall flyers, so personally I really like the Dark Slick Drake. He's very helpful, he's a flyer, super easy to use. Now I think I will take a Dehydrate, and then I'll couple that with some Frostlinks. Assuming I can find them. There they are. Now we're at 25 of our 60 cards, so that's a good thing to keep in mind. We'll take the Angel of Tithys. She has a nice effect where, as long as she is untapped, I believe. As long as Archangel, as long as she is untapped, creatures can't attack you or a planeswalker you control unless their controller pays 1 mana for each of those creatures. Effectively meaning that my opponent has to pay mana in order to attack me for every creature they attack. So if they use up too much of their mana in their main phase, or they can't attack, and if they use up too much in their attack phase, they can't summon a new creature. And also, as long as Angel of Tithys is attacking, creatures can't block unless their controller pays 1 mana for each creature. So, if I have an army with her, and we're all attacking at once, not only do they have to dedicate a blocker to each creature to prevent any damage from being taken, but they also have to pay mana to prevent any damage from being taken. Now let's see, what else could we go for? I have 2 Griffins. That's a pretty good standing, pretty good place to be standing. But I should probably get some more enchantments. So let's get 2 of these, which give our creature +1/+2 and flying. And then let's get ourselves Divine Valor, which gives us 3 life and gives the creature +1/+3, making them a really good wall. Now, I would like some first strikers in the pack, so we're going to go with him. He's got Renown and First Strike. And then we're going to go with... I think we'll go with another one of those Drake. Oh, we don't have another one. Okay. In that case, the next card I'm going to take is one of these guys. Just one. Along with I'm going to take one of these guys as well. Okay, now the next thing we're going to need is we're going to need land cards. So a good thing to start with when you need land is to take all the bicolor cards for your deck type. So we need the white blues. There we go. And we'll take all of the ones you have like that. So I believe those were the only ones. Yep. And then I'm going to take, I prefer about 8 of each one. So that gives you 16, 22 land. Now it does put you at a bit of a spot where it might be difficult to draw those lands, so you can bump it up to 10. And there you go, that fills out our deck. You can check out the balance of your deck here. We've got 26 land, we've got 12 spells, and we've got 22 creatures. Which means we basically have a 1 in 3 chance of drawing a creature, a 1 in 3 chance of drawing a land, and slightly less of other spells. We've got slightly higher than 1 in 3, slightly higher than 1 in 3, and a bit lower than 1 in 3. Closer to 1 in 6. Which is pretty nice. Boom. Now you can see all the cards we have. As usual. We've got quite the selection, don't we? But yeah, so that is the deck wizard. So to complete this deck, all you have to do is go down to here, go here, pick yourself an avatar. Let's see, we're blue-white, right? So let's go with... Who do we got? I believe whites are closer to the beginning, right? It's white, blue, black. Yeah. Well, let's go with her. And then we need a blue setting. Let's go here. And then we'll call this the recording deck. Save changes. So now we go to the front of our thing, and we have the right tools deck that we made, and we have the recording deck that I made. And to tell the difference between them, this is a deck wizard deck because it doesn't have an insignia here. This is the custom deck because it has that little insignia right there. Deck builder. Alrighty, so that's a quick rundown of that feature. That's going to do it for today, so thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed all that fun stuff. Next time, I think we'll probably tackle online play. Yeah. I've done enough of the solo battles. I think I could pull a versus battle. We'll see. But that will be next time. So again, thank you for watching. I'm not gonna do the whole outro again. I just did it. See you guys in the next one. Bye for now.